All right, welcome back. Now, when it comes to our next story, this is about an animated project that, if you're an animation fan, it's been years that you have heard about this one. One that has been in a production for quite some time now. I believe it's been since 2012, in fact, that this particular filmmaker really wanted to go and create this. However, from time to time, some of the production has been going on and off, and it felt like maybe it was going to happen, or maybe it just ended up being canceled. But then we heard recently, it looked like the movie was actually complete, but the only problem is that it didn't find someone who wanted to go and release it. Even the studio that actually created it didn't really want to go and release it. Now, it took some time, but finally, it actually found a new home. Yes, this actually turned out to be a similar case to Coyote vs. Acme, a movie that was complete but didn't want to be released, or at least the studio didn't want to go and release it. And it was up to another company to go and actually release the feature. So with that said, let's go ahead and check out the story about Fixed. Yes, Genndy Tartakovsky's Fix has finally found a new home and is officially going to be released. Specifically, it is going to be coming out on Netflix with a release date for this summer. Specifically, according to my source on Animation Magazine, it shall be coming out on August 13th. Now, you might be wondering, though, what is Fix? Or at least, if you're not familiar with this movie, or if you haven't heard much about it, what does this movie entail? Well, I'm going to go and read you the summary that Animation Magazine provided here, in which it states, "From visionary director Genndy Tartakovsky comes Fixed, an adult animated comedy about Bull, an average all-around good dog who discovers he's going to be neutered in the morning. As the gravity of this life-altering event sets in, Bull realizes he needs one last adventure with his pack of best friends, and these are the last 24 hours with his balls. What could go wrong?" So yeah, it does sound very raunchy, doesn't it? Well, yes, it is. Because the thing with Fix is that the movie is an original 2D R-rated animated feature. And I'll get into that aspect a little bit later, because admittedly that actually did play a factor into how it did get a bit of difficulty in terms of finding a distributor. But we also do have a bit of a comment here from Genndy Tartakovsky himself about the experience of making this feature, in which he has stated, "I have been friends with the same group of 4 guys since high school. These guys make me laugh like nothing else. So I was thinking, can I translate this humor to animation? I love caricatured and exaggerated animation, so I knew the sensibility that I like to do, and it was a matter of dialing up the amount of exaggeration. I think this started out as an R-rated Lady and the Tramp. Then, as we got into it, it naturally became more cartoony and specific to itself. I would say it began to really take shape as we were fortunate to hire some of the best animators working in 2D from around the world. And on top of that, it even has a prominent cast of some familiar names here, including Adam Devine, who is going to be playing Bull, as well as other actors such as Idris Elba, Catherine Hahn, Fred Armisen, Bobby Moynihan, Beck Bennett, Michelle Buteau, and River Gallo. And to give you a little bit more specifics onto the plot line, the reason why Bull is going to be neutered is apparently because his owners were pretty much fed up. There's a little bit of a description here, along with this image per se, in which it says that a slick and quick-witted mutt named Bull, voiced by Adam Devine, discovers that his owners plan to neuter him after he's caught mounting grandma one too many times. And as you can see, this right here is the reason to why Bull is actually neutered. Is apparently that there's something about that leg, though, that is sexually satisfying for Bull. And as for the other characters, we do have a little bit of a description, which is right over here, in which it says that the movie features the voice talents of Adam Devine, Catherine Hahn, and Idris Elba as a self-assured boxer named Rocco, in which you see Rocco is right over here. Hold on a sec. Is right over here. He's the tall one. And then there is also Bobby Moynihan as the goofy pal Lucky, and Fred Armisen as the wannabe influencer dachshund Fetch. So yeah, apparently we're getting another influencer character. So somehow this is twice in a row now that this summer we're going to be getting an animated feature in which one of the characters wants to be an influencer. As if influencer Smurf is not enough, we also got Fetch right over here, which maybe this is part of the joke, but apparently Fix wants to make Fetch happen. Oh boy. Oh god. I honestly, I'll just say right now, immediately, I think that's the one thing I'm not excited to go and check out. I'm not excited for Fetch. No, but seriously though. Okay, but going back into Fix, this is honestly a very fascinating story of how it was long in production, and it took quite some time before we even get a chance to actually see what is in store with Fix. Because as I mentioned before, the thing is with Fix is that Genndy Tartakovsky had this idea for Fix ever since he finished the first Hotel Transylvania back in 2012. So yeah, it's been over a decade since this thing was in production and that Genndy Tartakovsky had this idea. But then, as you may probably know, the relationship between Genndy Tartakovsky and Sony Pictures Animation, it's honestly not great. I would personally describe it as maybe a little bit toxic, because during Genndy Tartakovsky's entire career with Sony Pictures Animation, as much as he may try to create any other movie, the only thing that Sony is interested from Genndy is Hotel Transylvania. Regardless of what he would go and create, if it doesn't have Adam Sandler and Selena Gomez as a vampire, then they are just not interested, period. And that's why ever since, up to this point, the only credits that Genndy Tartakovsky has in terms of movies or working at Sony Pictures Animation has literally been nothing but Hotel Transylvania, which, in my opinion, is not necessarily a good look for Genndy Tartakovsky's portfolio. But with Fix, however, he never gave up on creating this feature, and from time to time, he would try to go and take a moment to go and actually create it. And it wasn't until that he got this new multi-year deal with Warner Brothers that he actually got the opportunity to do so. In fact, it was New Line Cinema of Warner Brothers that actually said that, okay, you can go and produce the film. So it led to this weird connection that even though it was being produced by New Line Cinema, it was still produced at Sony Pictures Animation, or at least it was being made at Sony Pictures Animation, which technically kind of made it weird because now it's Sony Pictures Animation producing a Warner Brothers movie in a sense. The connection was pretty confusing. But then came August of last year, which, of course, Warner Brothers being Warner Brothers, they decided to let go of Fix, that they didn't want to go and produce it anymore. And even though the movie was already finished, they decided to give the rights back to Sony Pictures. And as I mentioned, since Sony Pictures does not give a crap about Genndy Tartakovsky making anything that is in Hotel Transylvania, they decided to go and try to give it to someone else. And with Fix, yeah, it is a bit of a hard sell because we are talking about a movie that is a completely original IP. It's not based on anything. It's a 2D animated feature, so it's completely hand-drawn. And it's R-rated. So those are all factors that completely deviate from the mainstream. So finding a distributor that, let alone would release it on the big screen, that would be a massive challenge. And it wasn't until Netflix decided to step in. And there were times in the past where Netflix wasn't really that interested in the first place. But it wasn't until recently that they decided that, at least with their adult animation division, that, you know what? We've had a great relationship with Genndy Tartakovsky's works. You know, Hotel Transylvania has been a solid hit for Netflix for quite some time. They decided they're going to go and take the opportunity to go and take Genndy Tartakovsky's new project, and they decided to go and release it on Netflix. And honestly, I'm just going to say right now that that is one thing that during all this, I am not surprised whatsoever that, of course, it's going to end up on a streaming service, because honestly, it would be shocking if if there's a distributor who would go and put this out on the big screen, especially with what we have recently seen with The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Like, yeah, some could argue it did okay for itself, but I mean, it just like, hold on a sec. Actually, I gotta go and try to research this. Try to go and hold on a sec. Just want to go and actually check out the box office results of The Day the Earth. There we go. I'll just say The Day the Earth Blew Up. So yeah, just checking in on Box Office Mojo. The Day the Earth Blew Up, like, it only made a worldwide total of just under $12 million, and domestically it only made $8 million. And some people could say, well, that's because, well, the marketing wasn't that strong. And I feel like Fix would be put into a very similar position. It would be difficult to try to, like, actually sell a 2D R-rated original animated feature. So that there does come that challenge right there. And I mean, yeah, sure, like, it is from Genndy Tartakovsky, but you cannot necessarily say that it is from the director of Hotel Transylvania, because then, well, let's just say that's going to attract the wrong audience, and that you're going to get those parents who don't know any better, like, oh, it's the guy who did Hotel Transylvania. He has a new cartoon. Oh, I'm going to bring in little Timmy and see what this is all about. Yeah, they're going to be in for quite a nasty surprise if that would be the case. So in those regards, like with the factor of its original aspect, the fact that it's pretty much a movie that completely deviates from what is considered to be the norm for animated features, or at least the common animated feature that would be put out in theaters nowadays, and especially the marketing challenge that would go and come with it. And this is not even to mention that not too long ago, there was another movie that had a very similar concept that ultimately turned out to be a box office bomb. You may remember the movie Strays, which was produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and that's a very similar film. It was an R-rated comedy featuring talking dogs, and that didn't do well. It did not impress critics, and it really did not impress audiences. And that turned out to be a big flop. I think like this was something that I think the film might have lost money also. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was also a factor that made Fix a very hard sell for studios and for distributors. So I feel like ultimately in that regards, like the safest bet would be for it to go onto a streaming service in itself, like something that is like either Netflix or maybe Amazon Prime or Apple TV Plus or something like that. And I think ultimately it would be either Netflix or Amazon, considering that they did have a solid relationship with Genndy Tartakovsky, and or at least the projects that he has produced, like with Hotel Transylvania. So the factor that it did find a home with Netflix, I honestly, it feels like, yeah, it fits. I think it ultimately does work out. And honestly, I feel glad that, this project is going to be released. It did find a new home, even though Sony is completely negligent from wanting to go and release most of their animated features. Like, again, it just feels weird how Sony has been pretty distant from Sony Pictures Animation, especially with the factor that they're more interested in releasing stuff like the Garfield movie on the big screen, while most of the Sony animation stuff has just been out on Netflix. Like, yeah, sure, I know that, they have shown some interest in releasing films on the big screen. Like, they got GOAT in 2026. And then, of course, you got Beyond the Spider-Verse in 2027. But still, though, it doesn't change the fact that the relationship between Sony Animation and Sony Pictures, it feels like it's very complicated, or more complicated than it should be. But still, though, with Fix coming out on Netflix, hey, at least it is going to be coming out. Now, is it going to be a good movie? That, personally, I think we're going to go and wait and see. You guys probably know that I am not a fan of the Hotel Transylvania films whatsoever. I mean, I do love Genndy Tartakovsky's television works. I love Dexter's Lab. I enjoyed Samurai Jack. I really like the original Clone Wars series. And I do think his magnum opus is Primal. But with this movie, however, I'm sure not everyone is going to be on board, especially with the fact that it does sound like it's going to be a raunchy R-rated movie. But who knows, though? I guess ultimately we're just going to have to wait and see with how this will go. And now that we are going to be getting an official release date, we'll wait and see with how the movie is going to be when it will be released on August 13th. And with that said, though, now I would like to pass this on to the chat wall, and I'd like to ask you all, what do you all think about Fixed? Now that it is going to be released, are you excited to go and check this movie out? Are you guys a little bit hesitant? Are you doubtful if it's going to be good, if it's worth being released? And how do you feel that it is picked up by Netflix? Let me know all of your thoughts on that. All right, so let's see what we got here. As excited as I am for Genndy Tartakovsky's Fix, I really do wish this had a theatrical release just to see another R-rated animated film in theaters, especially if it's hand-drawn. But hey, I'm glad it is getting released. Maybe I'll ask Netflix if I could see an early screening on the big screen. Still excited though. I'm surprised Sony Pictures Animation actually made this. I hope they market this as the director of Hotel Transylvania just for the laughs for me. Oh boy, yeah, honestly, I doubt it. It would be such a bad move. I'm just gonna say right now, because again, you don't want those those like parents who don't know any better, that they're gonna show their kids this cute little dog movie and then, whoop, holy crap, something's wrong. They're getting way too horny. What the fridge is the dog doing to grandma's leg? Oh boy. Anyways, let's see what other comments are there. As much as raunchy comedies such as the first season of Sausage Party Foodtopia are progressively leaving a bad taste in my mouth, I'm curious about what Genndy Tartakovsky will bring to the table with this. At the moment, I hope to have a much better experience with Fix than the 2023 live-action R-rated dog flick Strays, which left me speechless. Also, it'll be refreshing to hear an Adam Devine dog than a mammoth one, right? Oh yeah, oh wait. Was he Julian? Was he that dude? Was he like that Johnny-like mammoth in Ice Age Collision Course? Oh my god, hold on. Let me just double check. I just want to go in and see here. Is it actually him? Let me see. Yes, it is. Oh my god, it is. Like, yeah, Peach's boyfriend and later fiance, voiced by Adam Devine. Oh my god. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, honestly, that is a very low bar, but I'm hoping Adam Devine could bring out a better character than freaking Julian. Oh my goodness. Let's see now. I had no idea what to make of Fix, but with this news, I'm at least glad someone picked it up. The premise sounds kind of fun, and the cast has been really good in other stuff. That's all I have to say, really. Would I preferred it if it were released theatrically? Absolutely. But hey, I'm glad it's being released at all. Also, with Fred Armisen voicing an animal influencer, why am I getting some serious Thelma the Unicorn flashbacks? Oh, God. Oh, yeah, that is true. Like, okay, that's something I have to go and look up again. Hold on. Fred Armisen. Hold on. I just want to go and check. Like, was he that stupid douchey horse or something like that? I just need to go and see right here just to be sure. Like, hold on. Fred. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, Fred Armisen as Danny Stallion, a stallion horse. Yeah, and that's the one. Yeah, Danny is the one that's like all about the freaking cud. Yo, dude, I like to go and chew on cud, man. That's how I'm a viral sensation. Yeah, yes, that is it. Oh, God, man. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, guys. You are not helping me in feeling like this movie is going to be good. Oh my goodness. It's like now I'm getting flashbacks to the actors playing as like horrible characters in other bad movies. It's like, oh God, you're doing this again? Oh jeez. I don't know if I want to see Fix anymore. Okay, anyways, let's see what else we got here. It's a shame that Fix is going straight to Netflix, but hey, at least it is getting a proper release in some capacity. Also, the fact that it involves private parts, I can see how it might not be so comfortable for at least some men. In fact, this kind of premise reminds me of that infamous torture scene in Casino Royale. Honestly, I don't even recall. It's been a while since I've seen Casino Royale, so I don't know. I don't recall. And it's like, do I want to remember something in Casino Royale that reminds me of balls? I don't know. Okay, any other comments here? Let's see now. I'm really happy that Fix finally got a legit official release. I'm glad that Netflix strikes again after saving Nimona from being canceled, and they have a pretty good relationship with Sony with the Mitchell vs. the Machines and the upcoming K-pop Demon Hunter movie. Not sure what to expect from Fix, but I bet it'll be very fun and raunchy. We're gonna bring out the balls tonight. Yeah, honestly, one thing I gotta say that I am rather surprised is that I'm kind of, it's kind of shocking that Fix was able to get a release date, but we still don't know when K-pop Demon Hunter is going to be coming out. I mean, there's actually a bunch of animated movies that we still don't know when they're going to be released. I mean, well, at least animated movies from Netflix. Like, we know In Your Dreams is going to be coming out in the fall, but we still don't know about stuff like The Twits or K-pop Demon Hunter and stuff like that. We don't know when those are going to have a release date. So honestly, I am kind of curious, and it does make me a little bit worried because honestly, I'm kind of scared if Netflix is going to do like what they've done last year, and they're just going to pile up a bunch of their animated movies like later, like near the end of the year, like in the holiday season. It's just, oh boy, I'm not excited for that big round again. Okay, let's see if there are any other comments to go and read. Oh, this is a new one. Okay, first off, that is so fetch. It's nice to see canceled features get a second chance like Coyote vs. Acme. However, while the idea is far-fetched for being an R-rated 2D and created by a kid-friendly creator like Genndy Tartakovsky being released to the big screen, I think that it has a better shot on Netflix as to avoid angry parents. Yeah, but then again, considering that it is Netflix, I mean, I don't know if, like, maybe there will still be some angry parents happening. All right, I think I'll read one more comment, and then we're going to go and move on to the final break. Let's see now. This was definitely surprising to me, and the fact that this movie is actually seeing the light of day is an achievement. I'll admit that I'm a bit more cautiously optimistic about this movie with Genndy Tartakovsky directing. I really do appreciate his works, and I do enjoy the first two Hotel Transylvania movies, so we'll wait and see. Yeah, I think honestly, like now that we are going to be getting it, I think it is a matter of a wait and see with how it's going to be with Fixed and how the journey of the final days of Bull's Balls is going to be. So if you guys are curious to go and check out Fixed, then keep in mind that the film will be released on Netflix on August 13th.